Dystopia warning. Just a heads up, if you're a monarchist or a Tory, you're going to fucking hate this. But if you are one of those people that denies objective fact and reality because GB News has taught you to, hate brown people, or told you that Bill Gates is trying to bum 5G into you, then stick around, because you're precisely the kind of person that I just love to fuck off, frankly. It just sustains me, As you know, Sausage Fingers is having a coronation. He's going to parade around on Saturday, more blinged up than Biggie Smalls. Whilst we are enduring a crippling cost of living crisis, it's going to cost us $250 million. And estimated to hit our economy to the tune of $2.3 billion. An economy that the Tory party has run into the ground. Yeah. Never mind that, this is a map of food banks in Britain. Never mind that this is, not a queue for a gig, but a queue to register for a fucking dentist. Never mind that our NHS workers, our teachers, are on strike, not just because they're not being paid enough and they deserve to be paid more, but because the conditions in hospitals are causing people to die. As my Lord and Saviour, De La Salle, said, the meek shall inherit the earth, but don't forget, the poor are the ones who inherit the debt. We're paying for it, aren't we? The billions spaffed up the wall by the government to COVID fraud, whilst magically their friends got richer and were able to buy yachts. The Toffs stick together. The royal family and the Tories enable each other, so they can maintain their lives of privilege and power, whilst we're stuck in the gutter, scraping together pennies to buy dinner. Every single news channel is obsessed with this nonsense. Really question it, because I don't think people do. So what's our option? There's an election tomorrow, isn't there? The Conservatives bank on you not voting. The only people that get really educated about politics are those at the Eton factory and other private schools, because they think they're destined to rule over us just like those fuckers do. But there is a way around it. Tactical voting. Tap that into your browser. Find out who is best placed to remove the Tory candidate in your council or to keep one out. And for the love of fuck, vote. They bank on you having a peripheral view of politics so they can brainwash you with bullshit. It's the only protest that we have, and the only reason we have to vote tactically is because our voting system is wildly undemocratic. People say, you should vote for who's best placed, to look after your community, except there's a problem with that. Tory governments routinely underfund progressive councils. If it's under Labour, Green, Lib Dem, they underfund it deliberately. So you will blame the National Party for what's going on locally, when the government are responsible for giving them the money. And don't just take my word for it, this is all backed up with facts. Labour councils were hit harder by austerity than any other councils. They had their funding cut by, on average, at least a third. Whilst Conservative councils and areas received more money, so they could retain their voters. And you remember Levelling Up, right? When the time came for them to apparently put that money back that they'd cut extensively, crippling local communities and pushing them into deprivation. Yep, you've guessed it, they put most of that money back into wealthy Conservative areas. 83% of the fund went back to Conservative authorities. This is what they do. And this isn't the only thing they do. They move boundaries so they're more likely to win elections. They've brought in voter ID to disenfranchise people, particularly the poor, who might not be able to afford photographic ID. Well, I've got a get around for you for that for tomorrow. If you don't have photo ID and you know someone that has, you can arrange for a proxy vote until 5 p.m. tomorrow. You're not going to beat the Tories by playing nice. As everything has proven, they do not take the moral high ground. You get people saying, they're all the same. No, they're not. Firstly, that is you just repeating a Tory line that is then regurgitated by the billionaire press that the Tories have got directly under their thumb, who they poured money into during the pandemic for favourable headlines. But then there's also the fact that no other party is throwing out 1930s Germany-style hard-right, frankly chilling rhetoric. They can't enforce any of their small boat policies. They're literally stoking racism to try and win your vote. Are you going to show them you're better than that? You're going to be genuinely patriotic and save your country from this set of utter fuckers. Go here, find out your tactical vote, send a very clear message that you're not putting up with their bullshit anymore. And for all those people that say, they're the same as each other, or they don't want to vote for Labour, etc., in case you hadn't noticed, there's no national appetite for a good old-fashioned riot. I wish there was. So hypothesis, falling into mind-numbing apathy, regurgitating lines that will get the Tories elected, it's about as useful as wanking into a sock. We need to use the systems that the Tories have control of in order to regain control and take the power back. Daydreaming about revolution is pointless. They control the information sources. This is the only protest we have. And I mean that quite literally, because the government have pushed through authoritarian anti-protest laws in time for the coronation. They're calling the operation on the day Operation Golden Orb. Now, I assure you this is not satire, this is unfortunately real. A cabinet minister said, King Charles's coronation is a chance to showcase our liberty, whilst giant baby and security minister Tom Tugendhat defended laws that will include a 12-month prison sentence for protesters who block roads. And the people that they're giving more power to, the Metropolitan Police, who have been found to be institutionally misogynistic, homophobic and racist. And not just that, they have a bit of a problem, keeping their hands to themselves, much like Prince Andrew. Not only did they viciously attack women at a vigil for a woman that was murdered by a serving Met officer, but there have been thousands of reports of serious sexual violence, domestic violence, serious assault. And in just the last couple of days, the two Met officers that took pictures of murdered sisters Nicole Smallman and Bieber Henry and then disseminated them in a WhatsApp group for lulz were released. And two Met officers have been arrested over a woman's rape, kidnap and assault. The Tories, riddled with rapey MPs, have given more power to rapey Met officers to protect the royal family, which includes sweaty nonce Prince Andrew. Makes you proud to be British, doesn't it? And on that note, all those people, right, that accuse people like me of not being patriotic, we're the most patriotic people going, because we can see our country is a raging fire of shit and we want to make it better. You don't make it better by doffing your cap at the corrupt shithouses running our country into the ground. They only take the piss out of us because we let them. Vote tactically, stop fucking letting them.